right, so we recently got some pretty interesting development in regards to the John Deere worker strikes. So I have an article here that I want to read to you that gives a pretty good outline of the situation at hand that we're dealing with or that they're dealing with. But I like to include we in this because we're kind of all in this together quite literally. But so I'll just give you a little bit of information before I provide my commentary. So in this latest offer, Deere and company executives doubled wage increases and boosted future retirement payments for United Auto Workers members. An outline of a new contract between the company and the union released Sunday afternoon shows that 10,100 striking UAW members will receive a 10% wage increase compared to what they made earlier this year. That's up from 5 or 6% increase that Deere offered in the earlier proposal, which 9 out of 10 union members rejected. The company will also continue its pension program for new hires, which Deere was going to cut under the prior agreement. So they rejected the prior agreement that was going to cut that pension offer. So they looked out for the oncoming John Deere workers, which is amazing solidarity. And compared to that agreement, the new proposal pays a higher rate for future retired workers. A 25-year employee would see an extra $150 a month. The company also added lump sum payments that can reach 6 figures for future retired employees. Chris Larson, a 19-year painter at John Deere's Ottawa plant and the former UAW Local 74 president, said he expects to vote in favor of the contract after rejecting the October the 10th proposal. And I also just want to give you a couple more facts about this new contract that they negotiated. The strike, which began on October the 14th, is the first that the UAW has called against John Deere since 1986. The action came as the company celebrates record profits. So the company was celebrating record profits, can't speak today, while the employees, their salaries were basically just stagnating. They weren't getting any more, weren't really getting any less either, but the companies, these record profits, they think to themselves, well, maybe I can see a little bit of this ourselves. You just don't have to, hoard all the money that we're making that you're getting from our surplus value. But let me continue. Which executives expecting Deere to earn $5.7 billion to $5.9 billion for the fiscal year that ends Monday. CEO John May's pay increased 160% in 2020 to $15.6 million. So he got a 160% pay increase. We're going to compare that to what the workers are getting in just a second. The lowest level Deere employees covered in the contract, such as foundry product, would see their hourly wages immediately increase. This is under the new contract from $20.12 to $22.13. The highest level workers, such as electricians, would see hourly wages rise from $30.04 to $33.05. The company will also give workers 5% raises in 2023 and 2025. And Deere will reinstate quarterly cost of living adjustments that workers lost in their 2015 contract. Overall, UAW officials expect that the workers will see a 30% increase in wages from the beginning of this year through 2027 when the contract ends. The contract also promises lump sum payments to workers when they retire. We are not finished yet, guys. Employees who stay with the company for 10 to 24 years will get $37,500. Workers who stay at least 25 years will get $50,000. In addition, Deere agreed to put another 5-figure sum in an account for workers when they retire. If workers approve the new contract, the company will give employees an extra $2,000 for each year that they've worked for the company. A 25-year worker will see an extra $50,000. Now, I want to get into something. Also, they're promising an $8,500 bonus, $8,500 bonus just for ratifying the deal. So if they vote in favor of the deal, every worker will receive that amount as a bonus. But what's happening is they're currently still on strike, by the way. I think I may have failed to mention that. They're actually still on strike, even with these negotiations going on. So that tells you something. They're ready to keep going. They are. And so what this article outlines is that I didn't read, but I'm going to get into now, is that the company is basically saying that, hey, we have a new contract out here. If they reject this contract, we won't be able to come back to the negotiating table for months, 4 or 5 months. This is it. This is the best you're going to get. That's a threat, and that's a lie. It's most likely a lie. Okay? What they're trying to do is they're trying to pummel these John Deere strikers into submission. Because first of all, striking is hard. It's difficult because you're not receiving the pay that you were when you were working. even if that pay, was low by your standards of what you believe that you deserve. So I believe they're getting like $275 a week or something like that, which isn't really a whole lot to sustain yourself, right? Especially when you're striking for months. So this is getting difficult. And what John Deere is doing here is they're saying, all right, we got a new contract, we got you guys some benefits. You guys better roll over and sign this contract so we can move on. But as his article outlines, some workers aren't really going for it, and kudos to them if they aren't. For instance, John Root, a 16-year assembler at Waterloo, said he still plans to reject the new contract Tuesday. He said John Deere can afford to pay higher wages than what the executive offered. Needless to say, he is entirely right. Root says he knows cashiers who make as much as some workers at the factory. He has circulated a petition among UAW members demanding across the board $10 an hour pay raises that would come out to hikes of 33 to 50%. Keep in mind, the CEO of John Deere in 2020 saw a pay increase of 160%. They want to increase their hourly wages, I believe it's 10%, and over the course of time to, I think it's around 2027, they would see pay increases of 30%. But what Mr. Root is asking for here is a 10-hour pay increase. They only saw a couple of dollars through that 10%, and I would assume over the course of a decade or a little bit under a decade, they would see pay increases of 33 to 50% here. Need I say it one more time? The CEO got a 160% pay increase in 2020. He's not doing the kind of labor that these people are doing. He's profiting off of the surplus value, the labor that they produce. That's how he's seeing his money being realized, okay? And all they're saying is, we want a slice of the pie that we created. That's what these workers are saying. And look, they have made some wins, okay? And who knows what'll happen if they reject this and continue to strike. My guess will be John Deere will cave even more because they don't really have a choice. Sure, they can bring in some people that are willing to work, but we're talking about over 10,000 workers here that are on strike. They're going to have to, they've already bended the knee, figuratively speaking, by caving and giving these types of remunerations, I guess I should say, to the Deere workers. But of course, as I just outlined, some of them think that this is even insufficient and they deserve even more. And my message to the people that are thinking like this, like Mr. Root here, more power to you. Reach for the stars. Get whatever you think you can get, because these companies, guys, they can pay way more than they say they can. They can give better benefits than they say they can. They can provide better working conditions than they say they can. These are multi-billion-dollar companies. You seriously think they don't have the money to pay their workers $5 an hour extra? Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. They all can. They just don't want to. And what this John Deere worker strike is exposing is exactly that. And what it's also showing, and this is the biggest lesson to take away from it, when you have solidarity among the workers, when you come together and you stand up and you say, no, we're not going to continue to providing you our labor so that you can take away the bulk of the profits, we're going to stop and we're going to make you reevaluate and we're going to make you give us what we think we deserve. And they're receiving that. And that's only because they have solidarity and they have a really good union fighting for them that represents them. And the only way that this contract gets ratified is through a democratic process. So it's one person, one vote. You decide what you think that this is adequate, or you decide if you think it's inadequate. And based upon what conclusion you come to, you vote yay or you vote nay. But at the end of the day, this is a democratic process that's decided upon the people that it affects the most. And that's what I love about this. Kudos to the John Deere workers. Kudos to the people that are out there still, as I speak, fighting for what they believe is right. And I hope that they see the best results possible.